Hello everyone and welcome to the Gaming Theologian channel. I am Nick Peters and I affirm the virgin birth. Let's jump right into our intro. Okay, so it's March 27th, 2026. Now, last time I played this game, it didn't go so well. I made some blunders, and that's why I'm back at the North Palace again. So, let's talk about failure from a Christian perspective. Because we all face it from time to time. The first time ever I went for a master's, I failed. And I was told by the professor that I might have reached my academic peak and I'm just not capable of that level of writing. Professors, try to avoid saying things like that to your students. Because thus far it looks like the professors here at NOBTS think that yes, and that's New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary, by the way. They think that yes, I do need some help with writing skills, but I am capable. Oh, also, in case I didn't mention it, I do want you all to know that I do affirm the virgin birth. But, thing is, that could have stopped me. It didn't. I went on to Southern Evangelical Seminary, and where a certain, let's just say, kind of political situation came up, and I didn't get my master's there. Went on, got married, and sadly, that ended in divorce. Although even my in-laws would tell you that I was the innocent party in the situation, my former in-laws, that is. But either way, I got divorced. And it's easy to take that as a personal failure. But I've chosen to not go that route. And instead, I chose to come here to seminary and work to get my degree. Right now, I have a master's, but I'm actively working on my PhD, which is in video games and Christianity, looking specifically at stories and what impact they have on us. But something that we as gamers do get is failure. Because we fail repeatedly. And you know what? We keep right on going. Now, what do I mean when I say we fail repeatedly? I mean, we play games where we lose constantly, and yet we keep going. Give you one example of me recently doing this. Silk Song. The Hollow Knight games are very difficult, and I remember Sister Splinter giving me a majorly hard time in that game. Go all the way to a lair, fight her, fail. Then go on to try and fight her again, fail. Died every time, and you get super frustrated. But you know what? You start noticing patterns. You start formulating strategies. And you go in bit by bit. Because no matter how many times you get knocked down, you still want to say, this is possible, and I can do this. And eventually I did beat her. Even before the patch came out, which I understand made her easier. I did it still. And to me, that's an accomplishment. Gamers know about what it means to work in the face of difficulty. We get frustrated, and we keep going on. That's what we do. And for those of us who are Christians, we understand struggle as well. Church history is full of people who struggled. You look at someone like Athanasius, who was facing one of the most dangerous heresies the church had come across in Arianism. And the saying given to him was Athanasius contra mundum. Athanasius against the world. Because sometimes it seemed like it was just him facing things. And yet he kept on going. And that's our calling as Christians as well. And I bring it up with gamer because if we're Christian gamers, we've faced failure in the virtual world, and we kept on going. We didn't give up. That's why, for me, even as a divorced man, I have chosen to not give up. As difficult as it might be to imagine, I think love could be out there someday still. I think I could find someone who looks at a gaming geek on the spectrum and says that that's still a great guy and I want to be with him. That's my hope. If someone wants to think I'm naive, okay, you can think I'm naive. But I would rather live with hope instead of giving up. Because the moment you give up on the game, then you have definitely lost it. I'm not going to be a loser. But even if I somehow don't win this game, I don't want it to be because I stopped playing. I want to keep going regardless. And some of you out there are facing your own difficulties. I'm sure some of them are much worse than what I'm going through, with a problem of loneliness. But it's up to you how you respond to it. You can't control what happens to you. But you can control what you say about what happens to you. And I want you to keep picking up that controller and trying, because, you know, it was kind of embarrassing for me when I'm playing this game on live stream and I lose. I could have just, you know, reloaded a save state, like I have one here, and had it look like that whole thing never happened. But I didn't. I thought it was more worthwhile to keep it in there because, you know what, I want you to know I've been playing this game for years, and I can still make mistakes. And that's okay. Making mistakes is not the end of the world. Yes, we try to get to the point where we're not making those mistakes anymore. That is the goal. We try to get better and better. even mistakes aren't final. For many of us gamers, if we stopped playing the first time we made a mistake, we wouldn't be enjoying the hobby we enjoy today. And if you do enjoy it, then look back and think, what if I had given up then? What if I had looked at my first game and said, this is stupid, this is not worth it, and phone it down? Would I be enjoying what I'm enjoying today? And when I say that, keep in mind, I grew up in the era of Nintendo. Regular Nintendo. You know what one of the sayings we have today to describe them? Nintendo hard. Games that are so difficult like that it takes a real expert to beat them. And I beat some of those games without using cheats and things like that. The original Ninja Gaiden, for instance, yes, I've beat that. Not all those games, though. I certainly never beat Battletoads, for instance. And I know there are some people who have speedrun through that game. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And as you're going to see here, eventually, I've beaten this game. Now, technically, I am using save states here, but I've done it without save states as well. It took work every time. Some people look at gaming as a stupid hobby. They don't realize it takes a lot of work to be good at gaming. Gaming is a very challenging hobby, but it's a lot of fun too. Even when we fail, to some extent, we are enjoying ourselves still. We are learning from what we have done wrong. Now this time I think I'm going to try to get enough magic done so I can cast a life spell at least. Definitely I'm going to need enough to cast Reflect again, because more of these guys are down below. And if you can do it in the gaming world, friends, I know it's harder in the real world. I know. But it can be done. I'm right here living that out, because my divorce is the hardest, most painful thing I have gone through. And I'm still choosing to face reality every day. I'm still choosing to look and say, this isn't terminal. This is not going to be the end of a story. She does not have the last word on my life. That's my choice. Because when she divorced me, I did not have control over that. Yes, I signed the papers. But I told her, if you go this route, I'm not going to hold you hostage, if that's what you think. I'll let you go. And it's up to you to take care of yourself then. And I did. I let her go. And it was extremely hard. But I've chosen to move on. Do I have a lot of work to do in this area still? Yes. Dating is much harder now, especially in the era of Me Too and I Choose the Bear and all these other movements. It's much harder. Do I lack confidence? Psh, you bet I do. When it comes to debating and gaming and things like that, I'm naturally inclined at, naturally have skill at. Confidence isn't much of an area there, but when it comes to social skills, I'm horrible at those. I do not know how to read people. And you guys out there that have enough struggle knowing when a woman is flirting with you or not, when you're on the spectrum, it gets that much harder. But hey, if I think the prize is worth it, and I do, the prize of love, I choose to keep going. That's my choice. Now, some people might get divorced and say, I don't want to find love again. I'm not one of those people. I don't know what's going on in your life again, like I've said. And you know, there are some things that you're going to lose, and it's not going to be a fault of your own. If you have someone who has cancer, for instance, and they die from it, it's not your fault. And that's horrible. If you're going to get pregnant and you have a miscarriage or something like that, it's not your fault. And that's horrible. But it's your choice what you're going to do after that. And I'm not telling you also definitely to never be depressed and sad about what happens to you in life. Because there's going to be difficult times in everyone's life. But as Christians, we do have hope. I recently listened to the True Comfort podcast, which I'm going to be a guest on next month, talking about autism and divorce. And the point of this podcast is it's an apologetics podcast, but it's also asking the question, how has apologetics helped you through hard times? And I'll be giving my perspective on that. But either way, Elizabeth Abonowitz was the guest on this one. And if you have children out there, small children, you need to look into her material at Foundation Worldview. It's excellent for children. Whenever I encounter people wanting to do ministry to children, I always tell them to go to Foundation Worldview. But she talked, when she was on, about living with eternity in mind. There's a lot of truth to that. Especially living with a resurrection in mind. Because the resurrection of Jesus changes everything. See, when Jesus rises from the dead, it's not just so we can all go to heaven when we die, which unfortunately is the viewpoint a lot of us seem to have. Jesus' resurrection is, as Paul says in Romans 8, about resurrecting creation as well. It's about making all things new. Not just us, everything. Jesus' resurrection is kind of like the denouement of the story. It's where everything changes for us. It's where it's as if creation was a musical piece getting quieter and quieter, the looming darkness overhead, and then Jesus rises from the dead, and there's a crescendo as the whole scene changes, and now there is hope once more. Things can be different. resurrection does. We've made it to just go into heaven when you die, and that really lowers the resurrection. Yes, we will live forever in eternity, and we need to keep that in mind. But eternity starts now. If you are a Christian, to some extent, you are already living in eternity. You already have eternal life. And no matter what suffering you go through down here, in light of eternity, it's going to look like nothing. I think it was Saint Teresa of Avila who said that in eternity, the worst time here will look like just a bad night at a bad hotel, by comparison, no matter what it is. You will have all of eternity to look back on and say, it was worth it, no matter what. Every temporary failure you go through, and yes, every failure you go through, if you are in Christ, it will be temporary by nature. And not only that, if Romans 8 is true, and as Christians we need to say it is, then all things work together for our good. All things. Every failure works towards our good. Notice that it doesn't say all things are good. Of course all things aren't good. There are horrible events that happen. But all things will work for good. In gaming terms, I refer to this as the ultimate cheat code. This is one where you can say, hey, if I play the game and strive to please God in the game and live faithfully for Jesus, all things are going to work for my good. They will. That's our hope by the resurrection. Resurrection hope does not just begin when you die. It begins right now, because the resurrection says God is redeeming creation for His glory, for His good. He's not going to lose the game of creation. Not for a moment. And if you are in Christ, you are playing the game on His team, as it were. His win will be your win. Personally, I have a lot of joy even just thinking about that. And I try to remember that when I go through my own personal suffering as well. And it's not final. Because you know what, when I was in the midst of my divorce, there were times it was tempting to really, really give up. That nothing was worth it anymore. That was a slight temptation I would face sometimes. But I overcame it every time. And why? It wasn't because I had some emotion or feeling about things. Not at all. It was because I knew the truth about Jesus and the resurrection. And that was what sustained me. This boss might be a little bit more challenging, but I don't think he should be. This is Guma. Yeah, this is all there is to him. Just dive in, jump out of the way. That's it. All I have to do is avoid getting hit a number of times. Too easy. Now, before I sign off today, we're gonna show you some things you can do to get ready for the next palace. So that when we come on next time, we'll start right at that palace. But first, we've got our leveling up here to do. It's going to get my attack to a max. And now, every time when I gain a lever, it'll come with an extra life. First, there's a way to get down here. Yep, there it is. I'll show you something secret here. So right now, my stats insofar as it refers to attack, magic, and health, they're not going to get any higher. Now there are actually some secret enemies here. I remember I found these as a kid when I was just jumping and playing around. And then, oh, there's something there. It can't hurt you, but... And yeah, that's a very nice gift to get 500 experience points. I don't remember if I've been here yet or not. If I have, well then, oh well. At least I'm gaining some experience, okay? But yeah, failure is not the end of the story for us Christians. We have hope. We're not like everyone else. We can look forward to the future. Okay, yeah, I've been here already. No matter how bad things are today, and I'm not denying they're bad today, remember that. If you're suffering with a sickness, a serious sickness that could be terminal, yeah, that's bad. Heck, even if you're suffering with a temporary sickness that's got you knocked out for a while, that's still hard too. But it's not the end. Okay, now on our way here, we pass through 3 areas where... Now, the only way you can defeat these characters up here that I know of is with either the Thunder Sparrow that we get later on, or the Sparrow that can turn them into bots. Although I don't consider either one of them worth it, these guys are pretty much minor nuisances. Okay, we're going to need to use fire magic here. You know, even though these rocks don't do a lot of damage, I'll still try to avoid them if I can. If you're going through suffering and you really need help, reach out and get it. I say this especially for us men out there who would seem to rather prefer to commit seppuku before we ask for help. There is no shame in asking for help if you really need it. Please do so if you need it. I would prefer you go out and get help, especially before doing something such as giving up on life if you're at that extreme point. Get help, please. And I'll say this to you along those lines. I have a therapist. I'm not ashamed of that. Because I'm a big enough man to know I have struggles. And my therapist is mainly helping me with areas of confidence, which is my struggle. Especially with my desire to find love again. Get help, Finn. It's okay. And I'm not a therapist, but sometimes if you need just an ear to talk to, you can find me. And I tend to listen to people, especially if you are a man going through divorce. By all means, reach out to me. I've been there. I had guys who had been there who helped me out when I went through it. And I've made it a point to make sure then that I'm that guy for others who need help. I joined a divorce care group, and it was extremely helpful for me. I still keep in touch with my divorce care leader sometimes, just to let him know how I'm doing with things. And if I uncover any new wounds, for instance, sometimes, I reach out to him. Those friends are extremely helpful. I'm going to be trying to avoid a lot of encounters because those moblins with the spears are extremely difficult. And I almost had two for the price of one there. And also along those lines, I am working on setting up a Discord as well for Gaming Theologian, so we can have a community where we can just chat about Christianity and video games together. And if you're interested in that, let me know. These guys actually tend to be easier than the others, but then they do get less experience. Now here's back, because I faced the wrong way. Okay, I'm not risking losing this one. Here's a hidden town, the only one of this sort. This is New Kasuto, and yes, we will be going to Old Kasuto eventually, but right now this is a New Kasuto, a hidden town, for a reason. And there is the final magic jar, which means my magic meter is at its max. Well, what about my life meter? We're getting there. We're getting there. Anyway, I want all you to know, I don't have some hidden guide I'm looking up on the side, although those do exist. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing from memory. Sorry for my cough, it's still present. And I see someone in the chat. What have I missed? Not much so far, but thanks for tuning in here. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe beyond that. We're nearing the end of today's stream. And yes, like I said, there is a YouTube chat set up here, so please feel free to drop by, try and see what's going on every time. I usually try and see if I can land on the right spot here every time. Ooh, that's much closer. Let's see if I can do it just... Yep. Here is another secret the magic key, which means keys are no longer a problem. You can get all the keys you want. Take a look here. It says 0 there still, but I never have to get another key. Doesn't mean I'm not going to. But I never have to get another one. So we're going to see the old lady one time just to refill that magic. And honestly, that is the most use I usually ever get out of spell. Just to get the magic key. It is one of the least used spells for me in the game. The other one that's least used is also one that is the last one I get in Yukasuto. It's essential to beat the game, but I only use it that one time. I'm not going to start saying anything new on suffering and failure, except just to say, don't give up. Keep going. Just, if you really want something, work at it. Earn it. You can do it. Just wanted to beat those guys just so I could hopefully get a magic shard from them. Keep in mind, these are the enemies said to be easy right now. Okay, there's what I was looking for. I'm going to try to avoid using a life spell right now, because I know what's here, right there, and there my health is now at max. So we don't have maximum magic right now, but we're in pretty good condition. Yeah, even these guys are the easy encounter now. There you go. Now we do have maximum magic. This is Three-Eyed Rock. And there we are entering the next palace. And that is going to be it then for today. Next time when we go through, we are going to finish the 6th palace. Thanks for dropping by. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. For now, I'm Nick Peters. I affirm the virgin birth, and I'm signing off.